Welcome back. It still is the Saturday morning show, 92.3 Nigeria Info. It's time for Standout with Mr. Patrick. Happens every Saturday morning, a couple minutes past 9 a.m. And Mr. Patrick is right here. Good morning.
Good morning, Sammy. Are you dwelling in goodness?
Yes, I am. That's the default accurate answer to that question. So, yes, I am dwelling in
goodness. And
goodness.
you're experiencing goodness.
Yes, of course.
And you're serving goodness.
Yes, all of them. All those questions have yes as the answer. But my own question for you is, what is smelling?
I'm smelling wealthy.
You're smelling wealthy. That's interesting. Now, the reason why that question is happening is because the topic for today, for reasons that Mr. Patrick will explain, is the smell.
The smell.
Okay.
The human smell. Sammy, so some years back, I was working for an organization as a business development manager. Okay. And at that moment, I had a house. There was no single bed or single thing. In fact, the curtains, the window curtains were my clothes. Right? So but early in the morning, I wake up and I wear my tie and I go for business development. I can't forget this particular day. I woke up to a lady. I had one shoe, and in that one shoe was my church shoe, my everything shoe, and all that. Yeah, but I think behind all that, there was something about me that I have not even discovered. So I woke up in there, and the lady said, "You smell money." You see the contradiction. This is where you are. And that is why more people think of pleasure than they think of possibilities. My generation think about effect rather than the possibility. But what brings pleasure is possibility mindset. So from that day, it dawned on me, even though I smile, and I say she knows that I'm just trekking from Romomasi to their office and all that, yeah? So you now see that was a remarkable pronouncement that you smell money, even in terms of scarcity or lack.
Was it informed by something she saw or what she just believed about you?
It's a perception. Your smell is a communicator, your divine communicator to life. And that's why people don't recognize about smell is very important in life. You know, you walk into an office, they have so much money. You see affluence, but you see poverty. You know, you see a big organization, restaurant, well decorated, but you see a smell of poverty, but yet in the physical it looks healthy. And that's what happened all even in marriages. You see them, they meet, they come out, they are all loving doggy, but beneath it you smell disunity. It's a smell.
All right.
So what is smell? Definition say emit. Emit means produce and discharge or release. A color or scent of specific kind. We all have what we're emitting, consciously or unconsciously.
That's right.
It's a distinctive enveloping or characterizing quality, an aura. Now, I picked it up in Genesis chapter 27, verse 27. So he went to him and kissed him. When Isaac caught the smell of his clothes, he blessed him and said, the smell of my son is like the smell of a field that the Lord has blessed. May God give you heaven's dew and earth's richness, an abundance of grain and new wine. Sammy, your fragrance or smell profile is a major part of your value that engages you. Your fragrance or smell profile is a major part of your value that engages you. I like the way the writer of Psalm put it in 45, 7-8. He say, you are passionate for righteousness and you hate lawlessness. This is why God, your God, crowns you with bliss above your fellow kings. He has anointed you. See, there's an anointing more than any other with his oil of fervent joy, the very fragrance of heaven's gladness. There's a fragrance that is not connected with physicality. It said the odor of aromatic incense is upon you from a pure and shining place. Lovely music that makes you glad is played for your pleasure. Looking at this, just as the reading the chapter, you can agree with me that your personal smell tells a lot about you. All of us navigate the world using our sense of smell, and no one wants to be a person who smells foul to others. Sammy, I said it again. The life we live is a life of form that creates reality. So now, that woman sensed prosperity, but in the physical, there seems to be a lack.
Yeah.
And as soon as that consciousness was aroused, I became aware of that statement. And now, so it changed the dimension of my personality. So I wore that richness in class, in distinction. People may call it you're proud or posing. No, it is a function of an internal being, recognizing that. We have classification of smells. We have smell of frustration. You know, there are people, when you see them, they smell frustration. And one of the things that track you is the smell of need. And men utilize that smell of need over women. And that's why bosses utilize that smell of need and lack, and to manipulate you and overrun you. There's a smell of poverty. And one of the sure signs of poverty, you will see, when you go there, you will smell poverty. There's a difference between what somebody lives in one bedroom, right, in a shack or some sort of things. Go and check, there are different smells. But another person who recognizes his wealth, consciousness, can live in that one bedroom or that. I can't forget, I moved into one of my colleagues then. He was living in one bedroom. I got in there, I thought it was something different, and they just had a baby. I was trying to perceive the baby's odor. You know that when you have a new baby, there's just an aura. But hey, honest, I was amazed. One room, it was in order of perfection, really, and yet there was no smell that was a new baby. So there's a smell of unworthiness. There's a smell of productivity. There's a smell of possibility. There's a smell of pleasure. There's a smell of wellness, wealth, and royalty. There's a smell of rightness. There's a smell of goodness. I love smell of goodness. There's a smell of candor. You know, that's favorable disposition. You just enter that office. I had an encounter. When I discovered this secret. So I started praying, for this spirit, that wherein I walked in, somebody can recognize I'm a child of God.
Okay.
Sammy, I walked into an organization, and as soon as I opened the door, I came in. He said there was an aura. When I had finished my business, a particular young lady walked up to me. I said, "Are you born again?" I said, "What do you mean?" "Oh, which church do you attend?" I said, "What church?" He said, "Why?" As soon as you opened this door, there was an aura, like a presence. There's a smell you carry. What smell are you carrying? And this is the root of smell. There are three dimensions of the root to smell. Number one, your source. Now, people are interested on the benefit of the source rather than the experience of the source. We are more interested in what we take from our source rather than to engage our source experiences. So, for instance, my source is Christ. And he said, I am the source. And so my source means productivity, means fruitfulness, as long as I attach to the vine. Now, most people are interested on the fruit of the vine rather than attaching to the vine. So now, they have a source. They don't even know the attribute of the source. Because if I know the attribute of the source, what happens is that I am open to experience so that I receive it. When I receive it, it's within me I experience. Like, for instance, my source is good, right? I'm experiencing goodness. I'm ever joyful. So now I don't want to just get the benefit of my source, but I want to experience my source. The other one would be connection to yourself. This is the sense of self-image, the self-worth, the self-knowledge, the personal values, the self-awareness, and self-attention. This is self-attention. Pay attention to yourself. Don't pay attention to competitors. I can admire your Sammy, but I don't want to be you. I still want to localize my admiration within me to bring out my own smell, because you carry your own smell. So it's self-attention. You know how people, especially guys, don't take care of themselves. So physically they are smelling, body odor. And once you get in, you know that people can visit you. They will associate more with the smell of that house than the experience of the food you give to them.
Very true.
So you see how important smells are, and we don't pay attention to it. That's where self-maintenance comes in. So regularly, you reaffirm that, like I wake up every morning and say, I dwell in goodness, and that's why I'm internalizing and bringing it to my consciousness on a daily basis. And now, this is what I call the connect to service. So I'm so careful how I serve. Now, your serve is a function of your source influence, which you have experienced as a person. Now you're going to serve. Now in service, what connects you or connects you to the other people, because connection is important, is intention. People don't know that intention speaks better than action. It is a mindfulness. What is your mind full of? That will affect the action. So you see, a guy will be all together, but hey, there's something he's emitting and producing that contradicts. You just hear that guy, that guy is well dressed, but I see poverty. Let's look at the method of cultivating your desire and envision your true self. You see, that word that woman passed to me helped me to envision the smell. If you get into my house, man, it smells good. I pay attention to that. Why? I'm always careful to make sure that there is no foul thing over there, because I have an envision of it. What's the second one? Embrace your smell. Embrace it. What does that mean? Embracing your smell is own it. From that very moment, I own it. So in the passing, my internal being, I'm an external being. Temperature, nature smell. And enlarge it. What's enlarge? Be committed to your smell. Be committed to and empower your smell. How do you empower your smell? By this, your productivity and possibility are embedded. Your smell can be incredibly instrumental or detrimental to your everyday life. Your sense of smell can affect your productivity. I smell greatness. I smell wealthy. Rightly define your smell. Time fails me to talk about more. Rightly develop your smell. Rightly enjoy your smell. Rightly distribute your smell. Rightly dwell in good smell. Rightly speak with good smell. Rightly choose your divine source. And rightly experience, expand, and express your smell.
Okay. So, I'm not asking questions immediately or at all, because I'm still taking down notes. This one is a masterclass. More people think about pleasure than they think of possibilities. Your fragrance or smell profile is a major part of your value that engages you. Your personal smell tells a lot about you. Of course, you talked about classification of smells, smell of frustration, lack, poverty, unworthiness, goodness on the other side. You make your choice wisely. But the root of smell, the first point taking, which is what I'm holding on to, is your source. Your source. That informs your smell. That's powerful, Mr. Patrick. Honestly, I have no questions. The questions I came have already been touched. But envision your true self, embrace your smell, prioritize your natural smell, rightly develop, expand. This is interesting. And this has a lot to do with the unseen.
It has to do with the unseen.
Yeah.
So when you see where something is smelling, use air freshener. There's a source. There's a root.
Yeah.
Until you deal with the root.
You take it out. You're only masking.
It's masking.
Wonderful. Wonderful. This topic will be AKA odor control. The smell, AKA odor control. All right, Mr. Patrick.
Yes.
It's been a wonderful time. What is happening with Standout?
Next week, exactly 11 o'clock, Saturday, the 5th, at the Inner Court, Royal Garden Hotel, Arochukwu Street, Rumasi, Port Harcourt. It will be happening. We're dealing with what we call cultivate.
Interesting. Is there any meeting or engagement between now and then?
Yes, on Sunday at exactly 5:30, number 4 Adobo Road, off NTA Road.
For the mentorship?
For the mentorship class. It's been amazing. We'll break it down there. We want people to own their life, discover who they are, and express their life.
Interesting. All right, you still have materials on the website?
Oh, yes. That if you go to www.soistandout.com, you can follow us over there and get download any previous edition.
Great. And for those who want to reach you directly?
0033411451. 0033411451.
Thank you, Mr. Patrick.
Thank you, Sammy. And how is, by the way, your son?
I've heard from reliable sources that he's doing very well.
Oh, that's great.
All right. Thank you very much. And, this is where the show technically ends at 10. But, of course,